Something or other. 8:01. All right. We'll call it, Joe. Are we recording?
Recording.
All right, perfect. We'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. We'll figure out actually here later. Were there any public comments, Joe?
No public comments.
Thank you. You guys all get the minutes?
Yep. I did.
Any comments, Paul? None? Penny?
No, they were great.
You know, Joe
Let
gets
the
his-
record reflect that they were great.
Yeah, Joe gets his, for me, for writing these minutes. All right, and they should reflect that they were great.
Madison Keith is in a tiebreak in the third.
Is she
set,
really?
so We should.
Well, with Coco out, right? Coco's out.
Beyond that.
Yeah, I was kind of happy that Djokovic beat Alcaraz just to put these youngsters in their place. Yeah.
Did we just change subjects?
All right.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Paul. Penny
Second.
seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Well, let's get started with a general update. Ty, where do you want us to start?
Okay. I'll start with the big news, which is we did get a date from Eversource for February 5th. Good news, bad news. We were hoping to be a little sooner. Every day is sort of precious at this point. But Eversource was out yesterday to survey the situation. They were very pleased with that the bollards were in and just the whole configuration of the situation. And actually, they're going to try and deliver the actual transformer before the 5th so that our electrician can make his connections going in. And then on the 5th, they'll do the actual incoming service from the street and then remove the existing transformer and do the swap.
So we're hoping for beautiful weather on February 5th.
No snowstorm on the 5th, then everything gets pushed. But as I said, I mean, the bad news is that is delaying us starting up stuff, closing up ceilings. There's definitely a little bit of a snowball effect there. So we're figuring one of the things we have to do is schedule all the startup guys. So, and again, if there's a snowstorm, we schedule them all and then it doesn't happen, then we have to reschedule and that can be 2 weeks. So it's a bit of a hot potato right now. And we're sort of guesstimating that it'll be about a month after we get the permanent power that we'll have all the systems started up and be into the commissioning process.
Is that month plus or minus a week? Is that just
Yeah.
experience? Don't hold you to it, but
has
that's
everything to do with scheduling all the startup guys. And that's, generator, air handling units, boilers, there's lots of parts and pieces and each one has a tech that has to come out and sort of get things going. But other than that, as far as the finishes, things are moving along nicely. We peaked up last week at 72, which was our all-time high. We're a little down from that now with the cold because we don't have any roofers. And Grasso's manpower is down significantly now that we've got the pavement, the binder course in, which is huge. I mean, that site is so much better and more manageable and everything now that that's down. So that's our biggest milestone.
It does not look like chaos on the front anymore, which is a good thing for the neighborhood. Yes.
But they're not done. One of the things we need to do after we remove that existing transformer is we have to reconfigure that corner. We have a little retaining wall that goes in there and got to get rid of that transformer pad and some cleanup and continue the sidewalk across. And then probably the biggest thing left is the granite surface at the front door. But millwork is moving along very well. They had a flu go through the production side, so some of our materials are a little late coming to the job, but we've got, I think, 9 installers and things are moving along.
We're not worried about the roof, right? It's just sort of weather related. I wouldn't want to be up there.
No, we're not worried. We're watertight. The ice and water shield is down and that's maintains the water tightness. It's just, it's more cosmetic at this point. Yeah. And all the cell equipment is going in. Things are moving along. Yesterday we had 4 of the 5 doors up. And so they're planning to finish hopefully tomorrow. Well, I won't steal all of Scott's thunder, but so things are really moving along, and the key right now is that permanent power.
Scott, you want to pick up the ball here?
Well, he kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but no, all good, all good. So we'll go through the photos. You know, again, without reiterating some of the places we've been and what we've seen, we've got a lot of good things going on, but we'll just go through the photos here as we're looking upstairs. Upstairs on the upper level, down the corridor here, you see doors are on. We've got the chair rails, the paint is going in, electrical outlets are getting finished up. You know, you can see that one little bit of a temporary power. Those are the things Ty was alluding to. Lights up top, the power down there that you know, kind of follows once we get electrified. So again, as you see, doors are in, floors are down, paint's going on.
I see that and I think to myself, man, the guy who designed that probably knew what he was doing.
He's all right. He did all right. That's cute. Then we go, this is the conference room upstairs. As you can see, you know, again, windows are in, window trims are in, frames are in. Those are the new sashes that are there, ready to go in. As we continue to go through it, all the chair rail, et cetera, is on. So, you know, again, just looking to close up ceilings upstairs is really the big thing. Clean it up, button it up, and get out of there. Again, more doors, et cetera, with the looking back towards the chief's office there, as the doors go on, and we start kind of getting ready to finish up a little pieces of the base and stuff like that, but maybe a couple of days worth of work up there, and then we're out of the business up there. Again, looking back towards the training room, again, just kind of accentuating corner guards, moldings, trims, chair rails, all that stuff, just to get a flavor of what's going on up there. Getting down into the lobby, a lot going on in the lobby. It happens to be the focal point. It's the double wide doors that allow us to get things in and out of the building from the front, so you don't have to climb up and down stairs. It's the only way to get to that level. So we've got the roof tiles are in there, the slate. We're actually moving that out today. We got to keep it warm. Now that we got garage doors on, we can bring it down and keep it warm in the garage. But you see, we've got the doors are going in, the aluminum doors. We've got the crown mold going in around. Very, very fancy. We got the ceilings are taped and painted and ready. We got a lot of good things going on down in the lobby. It's a focal point for what we're doing, so it's a little congested there, but certainly we're going to start. We're moving those tiles today, the roof shingles, so we should be getting better down there. This is the lower level where the electrician's little shanty is. Again, stretched for space.
Main level.
On the main level. But again, window trims are going in. We'll be finishing those up today, tomorrow, putting the little skirts on underneath the windowsills, and starting to kind of button up. As you see the back wall, again, that's just a little bit of the AV bits and pieces that we got to close up. But other than that, we're ready to start finishing things up. This is the back corridor between the two, you know, the new and the old, down the corridor there. Again, just painted chair rails. It's kind of giving you a flavor of what's going on inside the building. We're getting ready to start the flooring down this corridor here as we finish up some of the small interview rooms in the back and the side and the library, et cetera. Again, just looking down towards the sergeant's office there. We've got that's the expansion joint between the new and the old building. Right there's the IT office with the carpet. We've got the carpet in the other two offices, and the flooring is down, protected as we start, again, getting ready to close those doors, lock out those rooms, and wait. This is downstairs in the, this is the corridor, downstairs in the basement, a lower level, looking towards the EMS building, I guess, if you will, looking south. On the right-hand side, those are the windows near the for the fitness area. But so we're finished. The floor's down. They're starting to put the tile in. It's a little bit of a patchwork pattern down there, so it takes a little bit of time. But that's going in today, tomorrow. As you can see, again, the same. Just another closer view of the intricacies. Again, trying to make this a nice place for the patrolmen. This is their little area down there for the cops. So it looks very nice. And here it is. This is the putting green.
Did get the putting green in. I was worried about that.
That's it. Whatever Brian,
I need to lower down my score this year.
yeah, whatever Brian drew, we aborted mission and we made that a little putting green. So we have ourselves a little par 3 to practice down there. But that's it. We were rolling it out, stretching it out, letting relax. We've got the rubber tiles there as we start to space it out and install it. So that's a good thing. Should be done with that by the end of this week, maybe leaking into Saturday, Monday. Again, this is from the lower lobby looking towards the Sally Port, the back canopy area. We're just finishing up the tile near the locker rooms. We had to split that floor so we can allow people to work in the locker rooms while doing work in the back, and then we come and do the front while we cut off the back, gave us access in there. So again, just looking at the tile going down and finishing up some things down there. Looking into the jail cells. This is the one jail cell, the 2 holding cells, as you see. The doors are getting hung, sliding doors are hung. We're starting to put those in today, tomorrow. The bunks are going in, and we're starting to get inside the cells buttoned up. There's the bunks. You can see the ceiling goes in pieces. So we got to put one piece in, weld it, put the light fixture in, another piece, put the speaker in, then put another piece in. So it's a little arduous in the process, but we got to make sure it's done right and done once. So those bunks get filled with a pea stone, a gravel to deaden the sound. So we're waiting for that gravel, should be coming today. Again, just looking down the stairs. This is the north stairwell. The chair rail's going up. The door is in. The new door is in. We're just starting to get ready to start paint. The first coat of paint is on there, and now they're going to start doing stringers, risers, railings, and the likes, and then we'll swap over to the other stairwell and do the same. Again, just another view of the door looking at the EMS building right down there. The door is in. That's the chair rail is up, and we're just starting to kind of really start button those things up as we get ready to put the flooring in those stairs. Going outside, as you can see, this is the canopy. Looking at the Sally Port doors there. So the Sally Port doors are in. The door frames are all in. The double doors there are installed. All the sprinkler pipes are going up, getting ready for the dry system in there. The roof drains are all in. So we got a couple little things we got to button up here, but we're pushing towards getting the inside really buttoned up outside. Again, just a global view outside. You can see a little bit of the scuppers. The overflow scuppers are there. The cameras are going on the corners of the buildings. Cupola is up. We're starting to do that, little bits and pieces there.
How does the glass go in the cupola? How does that
Those
all
are
work?
louvers. Those are louvers, and the louvers they get set in, and there's a process of screwing them into place. But there's no glass up there. Those are louvers that go in there.
Louvers, thank you.
Yep.
Got him from the
but
inside, and then the person that's in there has to stay.
that's it. So he's the bell in the bat free. He just makes,
It's,
we gave him a little cowbell every half an hour. He rings the bell.
It's got to register for.
Yeah,
that.
or we rent it out for a couple bucks a night. Yeah, nice view of the city. But again, overviews, just looking, bollards are in. We got the bollard covers on. We're just trying to start button things up again. Cameras on the corners. Electrical system starting to go outside. Lights going to start outside. The garage doors are up there at the other garage, which is the storage garage. Louvers are starting to go in. You see that one louver that's out. They're starting to put those in today. And just button up a lot of little things there. The snow hinders us a little bit in a few areas, but other than that, that's kind of the big 30,000 foot view. As you can see, even a camera up on the top of the roof on the top right there. Yep. So we're starting to really come to a good place in here. That's it. If there's any questions or something specific we didn't show, we're not trying to hide anything, but we thought it would be quick to give a 15 photo montage.
Yep. Questions for Scott?
Any concerns, Scott? What's left that could be a schedule risk for you?
Really, the big schedule risk is as Ty alluded to, is the transformer. It just so many every day the transformer is not in. Our objective to proceed is challenged with. I can't close ceilings up because I got to take power out. I'm trying to put heaters in and relocate them, but I can't energize things. We're energizing things that we got to take off and put back. So that's timely. It takes time. And then following, we then can finish. We can't finish things now, though we have the time, we can't finish things. So that's our challenge.
Right.
On the outside, the weather is affecting us when you get, and I heard everybody talking a little earlier, you get a week's worth of 13, 14, 15-degree days, and that snow acts as an insulator. So we've got some outside, the guide rail that we're trying to get installed, even the signage for the parking areas, handicap signs, directional signage, those things that get a little challenging. But they're not showstoppers. Other than that, we're pretty good shape. We're in pretty good shape.
I think at least now, previously we had no date to work off of with a transformer.
Correct.
Now that we know February 5th is the date, we can work from that and say, okay, this is a stake in the ground. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And there will be some schedule risk, I understand. But now I think we can, what I'm aiming at is, can we get a closer finish date now versus saying spring, say within those 2 weeks, for example?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah, we can do that. So we're working with the remaining parts and pieces. To Ty's point, also is really honing in on the startup team for the mechanicals. Those guys book months out. So we're working with our team to recognize that this is important to us, and we want to push these people to come in. So those are really going to be, we're going to be reliant on the manufacturers and the team to get those things up and running. But yes, within a week or so, we should be able to fine tune. Hey, this is the date, March 3rd or whatever the hell it is, or March 15, or I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing and we're getting the stuff done.
Thank you.
And as far as expenses for the project are concerned, right, we're trying to be out of Locust by June 30th, right? We're hoping not to pay rent in July. And so that's our goal.
Yeah, no doubt on our end. That's absolutely that's unquestionable. But and we had a good conversation yesterday with the team on the I-team and the startup and the state and the 911 and the furniture and the dispatch furniture. So we've got a lot of good wheels in motion. Our timeline seems to be pushing in the right direction.
Yep. So I gave notice to the landlord that we'll be out of there on June 30th. And right now the 911 move is scheduled. We penciled them in for June 3rd. So that's the biggest thing in the, without the 911, I don't think we would move over in earnest anyway. But we can always move in a little bit early. I'm assuming, depending on whatever the police department wants to
Yeah,
do.
but we don't want to talk about those kinds of things publicly because that just gives me a knock on wood kind of vibe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. And then the only other thing I would ask, Scott, maybe for next meeting, we just talk a little bit about what will be kind of left for the spring. I don't think there will be anything really left on June 30th. But it just talk about, because you're saying mid-March, but there's also other items for the spring that are for outside. So if we could just kind of manage everyone's expectations of what will be happening after that.
I'll jump on that again. The short list of it really is it's going to be plantings, final paving, top coat, striping, and those are the main focus right now that we're looking at. But I'll get that together for you.
And the building committee, again, we were not intimately involved with your move over to Locust Street, and I assume you will not be needing us to be intimately involved with your movement back. I think we would just get in the way if we had to be approving this and the other thing. But again, if there's anything as a building committee we could do to help facilitate things or drive cooperation, please reach out to anything we can do. Yeah.
Okay, getting back to the numbers. Larry, you want to pull up the sheets? There we go. In general, not a lot of new stuff here. It's mostly moving from pending to approved and that March. So up at the top is everyone's favorite, the blue phone for the elevator. And originally that was 27, so that bumped up a little bit, but it's pending now and on its way to getting approved.
So then that is one item that we're gonna have to just vote on.
Yeah, we have
can
to-
wait, we can wait to the end, or we can go through it in detail now.
Yeah, let's get the voting out of the way because we might be off on the other things here, but it's over our 25 grand. And so we do need to vote to approve this. So why don't we go in a little more detail now?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, so, I mean, it's 31,504. This was for, code change that required this. So it was part of, our first ASI, actually. And, we just, we'd like to get that approved, by the building committee.
Just to be clear, this is blue phones in the elevator?
Outside,
Outside.
and on the landing. It's really for somebody that's handicapped, who, when
Can't
there's a
reach the-
fire, the elevator shut down, so they're out on the landing
I see.
and letting somebody know.
It's an
I need
override
help.
sort of facility for them to.
Yeah, and it goes to a place that's manned 24/7, which is
Okay,
probably the dispatch area, but.
all right, thanks.
All right, so you want to put a motion out there, Tom?
I move to approve $31,504.
Is there a second? Penny, thank you. Any more discussion before we vote? All those in favor? Good. Paul, you good? Wake up, Paul. I'll take that as a yes. Nick, you good?
All right, yeah, I'm good.
All right, approved. Thank you.
I'm happy, but I'm good.
You just
You have to put that in the minutes.
Number 36, contaminated soil, that just went from pending to approved. Going down to 54. This is the staff piece for the jacking of the building and lowering the footings that were in the locker area. Previously, we had approved the rest of the cost, but this is just the staff component that's now going from pending to approved. 59, this is a void. Larry had double dipped this little tile number. It's actually in number 39 above. So that's just eliminating that. Jumping down, the next three, number 98, the water meter vault, that just went from pending to approved. Same for the PLAM finish revisions, pending to approve for 2,067. And the last one is the revisions to the doors, adding the vision kits for the offices that don't have windows, exterior windows. Then the next one is the additional casework locks. This, we got a quote, so it went from approximate to pending. Larry's still negotiating. There was some pushback on the cost, so we're talking to the mill worker about maybe, doing a little better on that number. The next two are new items. The first is we got an ASI that added some electrical work in the dispatch area for all the monitors and whatnot. So we're still sort of evaluating that. We've put a plug in for 25,000. And the next one is some enhancement up in the attic. We're funding out of contingency, so you don't see any dollars, but there's a plywood walkway that we're just sort of making a little better than what was up there previously. A little safer. Okay. So if you look at the bottom, you can see, the transition. Most of this is moving dollars, except for the 25,000 that we added from approximate to pending to approved. You can see the change from the last period. Looking at the holds. Again, we jump to the third page, and these three are just going from pending to approved. These are all for some premium time work on Saturdays, basically, for certain trades that are funded out of Holt, so it doesn't hit the bottom line. And then nothing in the allowance report. And then the contingency, just that, these are, all of these in the yellow just went from pending to approved. And then the one new one was what we talked about, $2,500 for upgrades up in the walkway up in the attic. So still 377,000 left in our contingency. That's only down from the 2,500 from for that last item. So not a lot of deterioration there. So I think overall, financially, I think we're in very good shape. Project.
Any other questions? Good time.
Do we have a number yet for the columns in the back?
No.
No.
But we're still doing that, right?
Yes, I haven't done anything more with that since the last meeting, but that's still on me. Yeah, I haven't done anything yet, so that's still on me.
Gene, you've looked at all these,
Could you say that one more time, Gene?
you said you're good with all these numbers, these changes?
Oh, for me, yes. Yep, I do.
Gene, you want to go?
Yeah, so, we tracked the changes. I'll just share real quick. Everybody see the sheet? The budget?
Yep.
Yeah, so the only change, we're at 883,000 right now for the owner's contingency. The big change and the drop is that PCO 110, which we're holding $25,000 for that, which chewed up most of it. And then some of the adjustments, like I said, we're still carrying pretty much the full value of that casework lock, even though I know Turner's kind of working on doing better on that one. But since our last report, we dropped about $33,000 in contingency. That's about really all that's changed since then. Any questions on that?
Gene 883 is left, you're saying, of the 1.9, right?
883 of the 1.9 is remaining, correct?
Good, good. Thank you.
Yeah, everyone check their mics. Is that it for you, Gene?
Yeah, that's all I have. Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Gene? No.
Gene, do you have the schedule versus work in place percentages by any chance?
Well, we don't, the report that we did, we haven't updated the report since we met earlier in the month. So we do that usually once a month at the first Thursday. Yeah.
Thank you.
But just a little bit of foreshadowing, we're putting together the bill, expressed last month that we were somewhat surprised that the number was low, although the man hours were high. This month we're probably going to be under 2 million, but around the 1.8. So it is sort of tracking as we had expected and hoped.
Good. That's good to hear.
No, I think we're in good shape. Joe, is there anything else we want to do?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay. I mean, I like to, any excuse to keep Paul on the video phone is a good thing, but go ahead, Paul, you had a question?
Yeah, on the two garage doors for the, on the side of the building, I guess it's facing the north. What color are those going to be at the end? Are they going to be white at the end, or are they going to be that tan, that ugly tan color?
That's the final color.
It's ugly. All right, that's my comment. We'll discuss that later, I guess.
Brian, do you want to, I know you're going to take us over for a tour, but not everyone's going to be able to go on a tour. Do you have some general comments for everybody?
I'm just down for a general walkthrough, kind of a walk and talk with Scott and Larry, just to get updates. There are a couple things that I do have on my to-do list, and they're minor. Column covers was one that we brought up at the last meeting. I have to pick a paint color for the exterior masonry when they finally paint that. I don't know whether,
We've stripped all the old paint off.
yeah.
You can see from the photos, we probably weren't focusing on it. It certainly looks different, but it's a lot better than it did. And so, yeah, you just gotta find something that's gonna blend it better.
I'm sorry, which part of the masonry is this?
It's the upper portion in the rear where it was painted white.
Right.
They stripped the white off. The white had to come off because it was the wrong paint that was on there. So the white had to come off, but I think the best solution is to put a proper coating back onto that masonry that was previously painted white, just because they can't get it all off.
And you replace some of those bricks because some of them deteriorated more than others when you took the paint off. And so we just want to make sure we minimize our maximum regret to make sure that we're not going to have a problem with the brick that's remaining.
It'll be more consistent. It'll be the proper coating, and it'll be a color that's gonna match more the brick color.
So you're.
You can see on the photo.
But you're gonna paint the whole thing, so you're not gonna have the masonry between the bricks showing anymore?
It's a breathable paint, so.
Right.
You'll still see it. It'll be a little muted, but, you'll still see that there's a mortar joint.
What kind of paint is it? Oil-based?
No, it's a water-based breathable coating that's designed for this masonry application.
So is it gonna have to be repainted again in like 10 years? Or is that gonna be a paint that's just gonna sort
You
of?
know, masonry paint performs pretty well now. I'm not gonna say every 10 years, but once you see deterioration, you'll want to recoat it.
So the town hall has a similar coating and we're gonna redo it. It was done 12 years ago. It's not a big area either. I mean, from a building standpoint anyway.
By and large, we've done everything possible to try to minimize maintenance expenses going forward here, right? With a lot of the materials that were chosen.
Well, it's just exciting to me to see the finishes, because these are decisions that we made over a year ago. It's been on the drawing, so we've known that it's gonna happen, but we have to wait until now to see it. So, I think.
Well, I, for one, think it looks pretty damn good, personally. We'll hear how, you know, what popular, you know, opinion is when people see it, but certainly, you know, people, the general theme of bringing this old building back to its original luster, if you will, and architectural genius was, you know, a theme that I think the town of New Canaan appreciates and feels somewhat strongly about.
Basically, only on the back.
Yeah.
Right?
Where it's gonna be coated?
Yeah.
It's all on the back of the building.
All in the back.
And it was 2 stories of the building. Now you're only gonna visibly see the upper floor. We've covered
Which is
the
hard
other.
to see unless you're at the back of the parking lot anyway. So this is
You'll only
only
see
kind
it
of a
from the-
no-see-em improvement, but it's not really something anyone's gonna
Yeah, you'll
notice.
only see it from the rear, and even from the rear, you're not gonna really see that much of it because it's up on the upper floor.
Right, right.
That's what you'll see from the rear. You don't even see that area that's gonna be coated.
So is it a longevity as well as a cosmetic issue in terms of painting it?
It is. The brick that's there right now is pretty porous. So we do want to coat it and give it a proper seal.
Is that
Because
original brick?
when you take that paint off, they were good to try to preserve the finish of the masonry. But there was some scrubbing that had to get that paint off. So putting that coating back on really gives you a proper surface instead of leaving that porous surface for the water to absorb into that masonry.
There was also some random bricks in
Patching.
patches that didn't look great, so that at that point, you're solving that problem as well.
Well, that's the original brick that we had tested that was particularly porous too.
It is.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate place to discuss it, but Larry and Scott had sent out an attic stock list that should get looked at. I don't know, Brian, are you gonna take the first crack at that, or do you want to talk to Joe?
We're looking at it and our engineers are looking at it just to see that the listing is complete according to the specifications.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
more
I've
so.
been in
more
And
so
I've been in
people-
conversations with Larry and Scott already about where it's gonna live and
Okay.
what we want and what we don't want.
I'm sorry,
Right,
what is this?
Attic stock is for extra material
Oh,
for replacements that you may have in the future. So it's additional ceiling tiles and additional paint.
and it's a question of just where to store it? I see.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
Well,
times.
how much do you
more
want,
stuff
really?
Than a building operator really wants.
Right.
You know, they move in 10 times before they ever use it.
Yeah.
So instead of just, being wasteful, just let's refine it now and get to what you really want and go.
They used to store this stuff in the cornfield at Waveney, but since we don't want to do that anymore, we got a better place to do it.
Thanks.
Yeah, so, it's just, I think the quantity is the bigger issue that we've seen over the years. It was just too much stuff. And some of it goes bad before it gets used. So I think this is the appropriate time to look to either reduce the quantity and then where do you put it to store it properly for potential reuse. And then there may be, if there's enough of it, if we don't want it, there may be some credits for not providing this attic stock because it does cost money to, this is all stuff you bought in the contract. And if we don't need it, we should try to look for a credit where appropriate.
Who's the ultimate decider on that? Joe, oh, okay.
I mean, just to say, right now we have original slate in the attic, some pieces of the original slate in the attic. So just to show you how long attic stock hangs around.
Yeah.
Anything else? All right, so if we want to head on over, we'll go directly. Is that all right? Or maybe a 10-minute break and try to get over there by 9?
I think if we meet in the lobby, then we'll have to get proper protection, safety protection. So if we
Okay, so bring your hard hats
meet there.
and maybe park at the church. Is it easier to park at the church or walk over? Try not to park where the moms are going to drop off kids for nursery school. And
We probably have enough room on site.
Oh, you do?
Scott?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, we just got a lot of trucks moving around, lifts and stuff like that. So listen, come down. If you think you can hide on site a little bit, that'd be fine. But for a quick hit, probably across the street would be terrible if that works.
Okay. Anything else?
We got snow.
Before we adjourn? All right, motion to adjourn? All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.